Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell the people your name.
It's Tatiana, but everybody call me Tati.
Everybody call you Tati. Okay. How old are you?
24.
You're 24? Okay. Where were you raised at?
Baltimore.
Baltimore? You were born in Baltimore?
No, I was born in Tampa, but my mom moved out of Tampa when I was 2.
Okay.
So I just stayed in Baltimore the whole time.
Okay. What was it like for you growing up? What was your childhood like?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, my mom had got with my brother's dad, and he basically raised me. I didn't know my real daddy.
You didn't know your real dad? So
No. So
mom was pretty much a single mom for the most part? Okay.
So that's my brother's dad is who I knew as my daddy until I think I was about 8 maybe. And my mom told me my real dad stayed in Florida. But it was pretty good. We stayed in nice neighborhoods. My mom worked for a really good like restaurant in Baltimore. My brother's daddy, he was selling drugs.
In Baltimore? Was he's from Baltimore? Okay.
Yeah, he's from there.
So you guys grew up pretty good with drug money, and then your mom had a good decent job.
Yeah, she had a good job. Yeah. She was in college, but then she stopped going to school. But everything was pretty good growing up.
Okay. Now, how many siblings do you have?
Just one.
Just one?
A brother.
Just a brother? He's younger or older?
He's 19. He younger than me.
He younger than you? Okay. All right. So how long were you guys in Baltimore?
Till I was 10.
10?
Yeah, till I was 10. Then we moved here. And then we went to, like, for 2 years, we went to visit my brother's daddy in the summer. He wanted us to stay with him for the summers. And then one summer, he just didn't call for us to come. And, yeah, we had never heard from him.
Really?
We haven't until, like, recently, not too long ago. He was in prison the whole time.
Oh.
And we didn't know.
You didn't know? Okay. Oh, man, how was that? Like, when you...
Well, to me, it wasn't... I was like, okay, when we found out he was in prison, he ended up getting out and reaching out to us on Instagram. And it was like...
But okay. Not when you felt like he just didn't call for you. How was that?
No,
it didn't affect you?
No, I don't think... No, it really didn't, because we were just getting to know my mom's side. Like, we never met my grandma. Nobody on my mom's side. So
you never met anybody on your mom's side of him?
No.
So you guys were... You were in Tampa and then you moved to Baltimore and it was just you and your mom and your dad's brother and all that.
Yeah.
Really?
It was just...
So you never really... You weren't raised with family.
I guess I knew my mom, they were in, like, foster care. And when she had me, she was... I guess, like, my uncle and my 2 aunties, they was around when she had me, but being 2, I don't remember nobody. So
Yeah.
But I never had met my grandma, so we moved here. And I met my grandma and all my aunties, so I think meeting all these new people just made me forget about it. Like, I didn't really care.
Okay. What was it like for you, like, school age wise? What was it like growing up in school in Baltimore? You had a pretty good...
It was good. I liked it a lot. That's all I was used to, so I liked it more than being in Tampa.
You got friends up there you still communicate with?
Yeah, it's actually my brother's dad. I guess for me being so young when they met me, they all think I'm his daughter, like his real daughter. Yeah. So we all still talk to him, but we don't talk to him because he recently passed away. Girl, it's just so much.
Your brother's dad?
Yeah, he passed away. I think not even a month ago. His family had contacted me on Instagram and told me he had got shot, and I just had to tell my mom and my brother.
Wow.
So yeah. It's too much. It was like,
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. He was only out for, I think, a year.
Really?
Out of prison. And now he didn't end up getting shot.
He went to prison for drugs? Wow.
Yep. And was in there for 10 years.
10 years? Wow. Interesting. So anything as a child that stuck out for you?
The one thing, well, I don't know if I have, like, this... Well, I always learned when I had to go to counseling as a kid. I learned that people,
you
you tend to, I don't know what it is, like things that I've been through, like, I don't know what it is. They're just like memories. I don't really think they really affect, well, they probably affect me now. I don't really notice, or really probably tend to see it. But when I was younger in Baltimore, I remember my mom and I would just say my daddy because that's what I call my daddy. But they had went out and one of his friends had like an older son who they wanted to watch me or whatever, and I think he had to be like probably at least like only 15. Like he
How old
wasn't
were you
that
about
much.
that
I was
time?
probably like 6 or 7, yeah. And yeah, I think he was probably like around 15. He wasn't like grown or nothing. And I remember when he was watching me, I don't know, just a kid, you could just tell something is weird, especially if you don't do it regularly. Like I was bathing and he was just watching me bathe, and it was just like awkward. But you know, I'm just like, okay, maybe just watching, you know, just to make sure nothing happened or whatever the case may be. But then when I had went to bed, and
the same night?
Yeah, same night. I had ended up going to bed, and I don't think my brother was born yet. And I had like realized he had gotten to bed with me and was trying to touch me and stuff. Well, he was touching me, not trying to, but he was touching on me.
Okay, so you're taking a bath and he's watching you take a bath. And then after you finish taking a bath, you get in the bed and he gets in bed with you.
Like, I would say probably like when he thought I was asleep.
So he thought.
So okay. Not right after, but like when he had to think I was asleep already, because like it was basically I should have been asleep, but he thought I was probably asleep, and I was just laying there like I didn't like move or say anything, or I just lay there like as if I was asleep.
When he was touching you. Mm-hmm. Wow, was he like groping?
Like all my just private areas, trying to pull my panties down. But I guess he knew when he tried to pull my panties down, he realized I was woke because I was moving, like trying to push my body against the bed. So I guess that made him realize that I was woke, and he just got up and left out the room.
Wow. At 6 or 7? Wow. So what happened after that?
Then
did you tell anyone?
No, he had ended up watching me again.
So the first time you didn't say anything?
No. He ended up watching me again, and he didn't do nothing then, but it was just like, I just thought he probably would. So that night when my mom got home, I had told her.
So he didn't do anything the second time, but so what made you not say something the first time?
I don't really know, because I just honestly don't know. I just didn't. It's not he told me not to or nothing. I just didn't. Like, that's one thing. Even now, I'm very I don't speak up for myself a lot of times, so I'm very quiet and I just keep things to myself. I guess I've been like that my whole life, but so I don't know what made me tell her the next time, but I just ended up telling her. And then my daddy, he ended up beating up the boy's dad. Because like I said, the boy was underage, so he couldn't do nothing to him, but he did beat up his dad. I remember that.
Did his parents try to defend him?
I don't know, honestly.
You don't know the story?
Because I just told my mom, and then next thing, I just heard her going off and heard my daddy, and then the dude came over there, and I don't know what happened after that. But my mom did. I remember she took me to the doctor. I had to get examined and stuff like that, and then probably like 2 or 3 weeks later, I started seeing a counselor.
So what was that like, going to counseling? So
it was nice. Like, I really didn't know what to talk about. Like, still talking to somebody, a stranger, as a kid, but she would just like always have me. It was like these little things she used to have in her office that you can make, and like little just crafts and stuff, and she'll have me sit there and make them, and just talk to me about a lot of different things, but nothing really, like, I don't feel like I ever really discussed anything so serious to like an adult or anything like that. So it's not, I don't know.
Do you regret it? Like, because like with therapy, what I learned is you have to talk. You have to talk about what you're feeling and what you're going through for it to actually
work,
right?
Yeah,
so like it seems like you're about to say, like, I mean, I didn't really get much from it, but like you say, I didn't talk. So
yeah, that's one thing. Now I feel like I should have.
You should have,
because it probably would have made it easier for me to talk now as an adult. Because I still have problems with that. I remember. Well, I guess we'll get into that. But I either had to see a counselor for like 3 years after I had a child. So I feel like I've always been seeing counselors, but.
Who kept you in therapy? Was it your mom?
No, I actually had to see a counselor when I ended up having my son, because I had postpartum depression. So I had to see a therapist then, and then some like things had happened with my dad, And like DCF was involved with my dad when I was so young. I had to see a counselor because of that.
So you say that now? Which dad is this?
My real daddy.
This is time. Your biological father this time. So, well, let's get into that. So you say DCF got involved.
Yeah.
Why did DCF get involved?
What led up to me staying with my daddy?
Okay, well, hold on. So you moved in with your dad.
At a point of time, I did.
At a point in time. Well, let's not jump the time.
Yeah, okay.
So we're gonna flow. We're gonna keep it flowing.
After all that happened with counseling and everything, I didn't see her for too long, probably like 2-3 months. And then everything was just back to normal living.
Do you feel like it was back to normal? And when you recall it now, do you feel like you went back to normal?
Maybe.
Or do you feel like that situation may have...
I think it just made me more in a shell than I already was in. Like, made me more not... I don't say not caring, but I feel like with me, a lot of times it takes a long time for things to... Anything that happens to me or go through, I don't process it right there. It takes some time, and then I'll be like, dang, this one time I just break out crying and going through something.
Oh, man.
But it was like, well, to me, like, life just went on.
Life just went on.
It just went on by its business. My brother was born, and everything was fine. I didn't really care about it anymore. Like,
so you kind of just put that to the back.
Yeah, it just really wasn't nothing that I really cared about. So then my mom had my brother. She had already been dating his daddy. And then, like I said, everything was just fine. We all living together. And then I don't know if she was on the verge of leaving him or what happened, but one day she they got into it and they were like fighting. Like, I don't know, I don't think it's like an interstate in Baltimore where they were at, but it's like some type of bridge looking thing, and they were going at it and fighting, and he was just like beating her really bad, like just on the street, just beating her really bad, and he was like stomping her head into the ground, like she was laid on the ground. He was just like stomping on her, and then he just left. Like, he just left, and he just left her there. And somehow, some way, she was able to get up and drive us home. She drove us home. It was me, her, and my little brother. And she drove us home, and she had me call 911. And then, I don't know if, like, from it being, like, such a tragic thing that happened, like, everything after that, I just don't remember. Like, I don't know what else happened after that. I just know we ended up staying with her friend. And she, like, for a couple months, she just wasn't there.
Your mom wasn't?
Yeah, she wasn't at the friend house. And, like, I don't know. I don't know if the memory just gone, but it's like we were just living with her friend, and we just thought, like, okay, she's somewhere or whatever, she'll be back.
Was she in the hospital?
Yeah, the whole time she was in the hospital. And then when she did come, like, when she came, I don't remember this, but she had told me when she did come out of the hospital that when she came to the house that I didn't want to see her. That I guess I told her friend I didn't want to see her because she was like wrapped up in all these bandages around her head. Because I guess she ended up having to get like these metal plates is all on the left side of her head. So what damage did he do? He broke her skull.
He broke her skull
on that side. So she got a skull on this side, and then all this side is metal plates.
Wow. Did you guys ever talk about it? No. So you were in the car. Were you guys in a car? Were you walking?
Yeah, we were in the car. So, and my brother, he was a baby.
So he doesn't really remember.
He don't know nothing. He was
How old were you?
Baby. I was probably like 7, 8. Because we came back to Florida when I was 9. So, yeah, I had to be about 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we never did. She only said, like, the only thing Mom ever say about that situation, she always say, like, she's been through the most things with me.
So you seen that, like, you pretty much seen everything. So did she go back to him? No.
She ended up...
Kudos to Mom.
She did.
Kudos to Mom.
Thank
God. Yes.
She is a move. Like, some time later, she met somebody else, and I just don't think. I think after that whole situation, I can't speak for her, but I feel like after that whole situation, she just really didn't. I don't know. I guess like take no man serious. because she was with another man. He was a really good man. Like, he was really nice. He loved us. And he wanted to marry her, and she was like, nope. And we just packed up and moved back to Florida.
Really? She probably was scared.
Yeah, well, I feel like
I don't think I'm not gonna.
She just wanna. I don't know. I just don't think she was ready for that at that time.
Yeah.
So we had came back here and met all our other family. We didn't know.
So can I ask you, before he did that incident where he crushed her skull and stuff, has he ever been violent with her that you know?
I never seen. She never even told us that he ever hit her or anything. So I don't know what caused
and he that just to walked happen. Off.
He just left. Like, he just left. That was, I don't know if maybe he was on drugs, or she don't tell us. Like, she's never told us nothing like that. So I honestly don't know. But like I said, she never told us that he beat her when we stayed with him. We never seen that. Everything was fine. That's why it was just like crazy to know that he did that to her.
Wow.
Like, it was just really, I don't know, just out of the order. I don't know if she was leaving him or what caused him to do that. I don't know, but it was crazy.
Wow. Okay, so now you say you guys are back in Florida. Okay. Now, what's that like?
It's okay. It's okay. we had met my grandma, and
this is your mom's mom.
My mom's mom.
Okay, so now you're meeting your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
We met them, and it was like, okay, they're white. So
oh, your mom's white? Okay.
So it was like kind of different, and when we was living in Baltimore, it's like very rare you'll see somebody like in an apartment. It's houses everywhere. So if you're in the house, but we came here and my grandma was staying in a trailer, and I was like,
this is different.
I was just like,
you're in the country now.
Like, this is just too much. Like, I don't like this. But it was okay at first. It was okay, but then like I think we was with our grandma for not even 2 whole months. Her, my auntie, my mama, my uncle, my other auntie, they all got into a big old fight, and my grandma like put everybody in jail.
What?
I swear to God.
So this side of your family is white, and
well, my grandma is white. All my aunties and my mama, they're mixed. Their dads are black, but my grandma's white.
So is your dad black? Was your brother's dad black? Okay.
They all black.
They all okay. They like okay. We get it. Okay.
Like my grandma, like I said, my mom then were in foster care when she had me. So
your mom was in foster care.
Yeah.
How old was she? Was she young?
Yeah, when she went to foster care, I think she was like 13 or 12.
Do you know the story behind that?
Yeah, my grandma was on drugs.
Oh. Okay.
And I think her neighbor, somebody kept coming to the house to talk to her about something, and like my mom kept saying like, oh, she's at work, and like they just end up calling the police. And my grandma wasn't
so they
there.
Could never
see. Yeah, they never seen her there.
So
I guess the neighbor got suspicious, and she called DCF, and they got took from my grandma.
Okay.
And
so your mom ended up in foster care.
Yeah.
At what age did she have you?
She had me at 14, I think, either 14 or 15. Either she got pregnant at 14, had me at 15.
Was she in a relationship with the?
Not with my. Well, yeah, her and my dad were together, and then she ended up getting pregnant. But my daddy, he was like running the streets a lot, so he wasn't really there.
Okay.
And then when she turned 18, as soon as she turned 18, I guess by her being in foster care, she didn't like it. So as soon as she turned 18, she just up and took me and left.
So you were raised in foster care with her. Do you remember that at all or no?
No, I remember the people, but I don't really remember like that much. Like if I see them, I know who they are. I speak to them and stuff, but I don't really remember an experience living there with her.
All right, so you guys are back in Florida at this point, and you said you with your grandma. Did your grandma put everybody in jail?
Yeah.
Were they in jail for a long time?
No,
it was a short while.
Really short while. Like
okay.
I guess, like my grandma, she has a real, I don't know, like she's very toxic. She really is. Like she will do things to get at you and get at you and get at you, and then as soon as you snap, she put you in jail. She'll put you in jail. Like. Yeah, and I just feel like when I met my grandma, all of her kids had just started coming back around. Like all my mom's siblings are younger than her, so they are started aging out of foster care. Like they just everyone that turned 18, they get out, then get out, then get out, and then they all started communicating with her again. So then, like I guess basically when we came around, that's when they were just starting to build their relationship back with her. I just feel like maybe from everything that they went through as kids, it just kept coming out. The more and more we kept, like, I don't know, things just kept coming out. They just didn't have no good relationship with her. So they
like more and more secrets or family.
Like it was just problems. Like all my grandma kids got problems because they went through so much.
They went through
because
of grandma.
Her being on drugs and stuff. Like
what drugs was she on?
She was on crack. I don't know what else she was on. She was a prostitute.
Oh, your
so
grandma.
She did a lot of like she was in it really bad.
Yeah, grandma was out there.
Off the chain. Okay. And it got so bad to the point like now my grandma, she has a scar from here to here because she was I guess doing something with a man or about to with a friend, and he cut her throat and he ended up killing her friend too. He killed the friend. The friend was murdered. The lady was murdered and like chopped up and put into a bag. And my grandma, he cut her throat. Like she has a whole scar from here to here.
Wow.
And I think after that situation, I think that's when she stopped doing drugs.
That's when she got it right.
She stopped, but she still didn't like go get my mom and them out of foster care.
So this is like a generational
trauma.
Effect.
Just keep coming.
Right. So your grandma has been through some things and she's on drugs, and then now it has transpired over to your mom and her siblings, and now your mom has been through her own things,
and now raises.
Now she's raising you guys, and you guys are experiencing that with her, and then now it now we have lot. You. So your mom had you in foster care at 14. 18, she picked up, moved. That's when you guys went to Baltimore, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're back in Florida, you guys. Okay, what happens now when you're back in Florida?
So
how old are you at this point?
I was 10. 10 we came back.
So you guys stayed in Florida though, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We stayed here. We went back to Baltimore for the summer to visit my brother's dad for like 2 summers, and then we, like I said, we just stopped going.
We stopped going.
But everything, we was living with our grandma for a while, and then like we were living with our grandma for a long time actually. We was living with her for a while. My mom was like working. Like all of my grandma kids were there, I feel like, except for my youngest auntie. She was still in foster care. She didn't age out yet, but she would still come around, and we was able to meet her and stuff like that. And then I say like 3 years after being here, my mom and my uncle ended up getting arrested for murder.
For murder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. just be stuff happening in that family. I don't know what, but yeah.
Murder?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this until I was in like almost like about to be in high school, because I took it upon myself to look it up. Because my mom never, she always told my grandma, don't let us know, don't let us read nothing about her, none of that.
So, okay. What age are you when she gets arrested?
I think I was 11, probably just about to turn 11.
11. So now mom is gone, and you didn't know why mom was gone.
No, I just knew she got arrested. Like,
so you didn't know she got arrested? I knew
she got arrested because she got arrested at my, like, the way she got arrested, we was just all sitting down at my grandma's house, and then like these 2 detectives just knocked on the door. They came in, and they had pointed guns at my grandma, and I don't know why, I just ran out the door. And I ran to my friend's house, and then I'm just like how my grandma, her trailer is, it sits right here. My friends sit right here, so I can see what's going on. So I'm looking to see what's going on. I see them, handcuff my mom, and they put her in a car. And then next thing you know, it's just like more and more police came, and then this big old truck came, and I was confused what was going on, but they had already took my mom, but I didn't know. Mm-hmm. It was my uncle. He wouldn't come out. So they had to call all these people. They ended up having to like throw smoke bombs in my grandma's house. It was a
situation.
It was a whole situation.
Wow.
Like a whole situation.
So now mom and uncle is in jail for murder, and you guys are with grandma. But grandma has her stuff together at this point, right?
Yeah, at this point she got everything. She's fine. She off drugs. She got her own place. Everything is fine. And I think my mom was in there for at least a couple months. And she told me it would probably be best if I start, just going around my dad here and there.
Your real dad?
My real daddy, since she was in jail. So my auntie was letting me do that. Like, she'll let my daddy come over and come see me. But she wouldn't let me leave with him. And then the first time she let me leave with him, he ain't bring me back.
Really?
They came to get me, and he called the police on my auntie and my grandma. And there's nothing the police had told him, like, because they can't he's my daddy, I have to stay with him. And I was so hurt.
Wow.
Because all I knew was my brother.
Right.
And
so he just uprooted you from everything
I know.
And now you're with him.
Everything I know.
So now you're staying with dad. How old are you now?
I think I'm still, like, all this happened in a short time. I'm probably still 11.
Okay.
So I was still 11 at this time. Or probably just about to be 12.
So what was that like, living with dad
horrible.
now? Why do you say horrible?
Because at first it was okay. I had steps, like, he got a wife. And she has 4 daughters and a son. So I was like, it was okay having sisters and stuff like that. I enjoyed that. But his wife didn't like me. And I don't know why. I think she didn't like me because of my mom. I honestly don't know, or I don't know why. I can't say why she don't like me, because it doesn't make any sense why she doesn't. Because my mom and my daddy have not been together since she was pregnant.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because I'm his only daughter and they don't have any kids together. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but she never liked me. And she used to I remember she's the one who actually told me my mom was in jail for was in prison for murder. She had like this whole, I guess you could print out the whole, like, things that's going on with the case and stuff like that. And she had all that. Like, she had my mom's whole case
for you.
I don't know why she did it. Like, so I think she did it to be malicious.
Did she just had it and just so happened to give it? Like,
no, just one night she had just called me to the table and she sat me down and she was like, I'm just gonna let you know what your mama in jail for.
Oh man.
And had me read it, had me read what my uncle just had me read everything.
Oh no.
And I was like, why are you
11?
I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, I don't understand. And then it went from that to, if I get in trouble in school, I wasn't allowed to go visit my mama at the jail. She never gave me none of my mom's letters that my mom wrote me. None of them. It's like she basically tried to make it seem like my mama didn't care about me no more. Wow. But I never believed that. It was just like, I just know, like, that's not how mama is.
What did your dad have to say about all of this?
Nothing. He was on drugs. Himself. He ended up coming to find out he was on drugs.
What drugs was he on?
He was on crack as well, and smoking crack. He was drinking too. And all that trickled from his mama passing away.
Oh man!
So it was just like,
it's like family trauma after
back
family
to back happening,
and you're only 11.
And by him being on drugs, he just sitting there letting it go on with the things of his life.
He really didn't care.
He just letting it go on. He's barely there. Anyway, so that's why I never understood why he took me from my family.
Why come get me
to not even raise me? It was just.
How did that make you feel though?
I was like really depressed.
You were depressed?
I like now knowing, if I look back on my life then, I know I had to be depressed because like when I stayed with my mom, I was always good. Like I always did good in school. Like everything was just good. When I moved with my daddy, I was getting suspended. I was always fighting. Like
you feel like you were lashing out.
Yeah, I was just doing stuff like, and then I guess I don't know if it was me having stepsisters. Like I was following behind my stepsisters, and like they had a little more freedom. They was able to do a lot of things, and then I started doing them, and then I get in trouble for doing exactly what they're doing. So it was really bad. Like it was like crazy. Like it really was crazy. My auntie used to have to come get me and take me shopping because my stepmama, my daddy would not buy me no clothes. She wanted me to wear her daughter's clothes. And like my auntie just wasn't like that. I just
don't get why they kept you.
I don't get
they didn't really
why come get me if you didn't even want to raise me.
Right.
I think it was just to be malicious. Like, and because that's the only thing that would make sense to me. Like, I feel like she knew that would hurt my mom for her kids to be separated, and there's nothing she can do about it. So, I mean, I feel like you want to do something to somebody, that's be the only way to go through their children.
Oh man. So, how long did this last? You been with Dad?
I stayed with my dad for 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, that's the total. As soon as my mom was in jail for 2 years, when she got found not guilty, she got out.
So Mom beat the murder case?
She did, but my uncle did.
Your uncle didn't?
No, because I guess.
Do you know the story behind it?
Yeah. Well, my mom won't tell me. I just know what I read, and because she won't tell me, still to this day she won't tell us. So just from what I read off the court documents, it was, I guess, the man was robbed. He robbed the man with his friend, my uncle, I guess, and the man, I guess my uncle ended up stabbing the man over like 20 times, and him and the man was fighting. So that's when my uncle was found guilty, because his blood was there.
Okay.
At the scene. And
so what did your mom's involve?
Well, the man who was with my uncle, he said my mom was the getaway driver. So, but I guess they couldn't prove nothing about her being there, her car, or nothing like that. So she was found not guilty. But by my uncle's DNA being there, he was found guilty and he got sentenced to life.
Oh man.
And before he went to jail, he had just had a baby. My little cousin was only like 4 days old. Before he went to jail.
4 days? Mm-hmm. So he never even got to spend time with...
Nope. All he knows was his daddy being in prison.
Damn. Oh man, so Mom beats the murder case, thank God. So now she's out. You're about 13 now?
Yeah, I'm about 13. She get out. I moved back with her. As soon as she got out, my daddy let me go back with her. So I moved back with her. And now I'm like in probably 8th grade. I think. Yeah, I think so. Or 7th. But everything was fine. We was staying with my auntie until my mom was able to get a job and all that stuff. And it was straight. Like, everything went back to normal. It was okay. And then my mom ended up dating this man. We moved out from my auntie. We had our own apartment, Cross Fletcher. And my mom ended up dating this man. And it was okay at first. Like, it was fine. It was okay. He was straight. He was just, I don't know, he's kind of weird, but he was okay. And then he ended up starting to abuse her.
So now Mom's back in an abusive
relationship with somebody else. And this time, it's like, it's noticeable. Like, they will argue right there in front of us. They'll fight. Because it's only a 2-bedroom, so y'all in here fighting. Me and my brother here, right here. We can hear it all. And my mom used to always tell us, like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't say nothing to him. Like, basically as if she wanted us to act like nothing was going on. And, like, still, like, they'll fight. Y'all, like, be in a whole fight, and then a couple hours later, y'all back okay. And it's like she expected us to be like that, too. Like, back okay with him, friends with him, cool with him. Cool,
like as if we never see him beat your ass.
Right, like, it's crazy. It was ridiculous. Like, it was crazy, but we just dealt with it and put up with it because there was, like, nothing else we could do. And then I felt like sometime after that, I had started, like, skipping school. I started, like, getting little boyfriends and stuff, and skipping school to go see your boyfriend during school hours, then going to my other friend's house for school, about to get out to make it look like I'm, going to school and stuff like that. And yeah, I just feel like I just started going down the wrong path. You started going down the wrong path.
Do you feel like you were going down the path just because you didn't want to be around your mom?
Yeah, I just didn't want to deal with what was going on at home. So, like,
so you were running away to escape.
Get away from everything else. And it was just like, I just felt like my mom didn't really care about my feelings or care about how I felt. I felt like she just was worried about him.
Why do you feel like Mom didn't care?
Because I don't feel like, me as a mom, I wouldn't want my kids to respect a dude that's beating me. Like, I wouldn't want my kids to see that or go through that, especially if I know we've already been through something traumatic before. Like, I just didn't understand.
So you felt like mom should have left.
Yeah, I feel like she should have, but
do you think maybe she didn't leave because she couldn't afford it, or
I don't know?
You think she was dependent? You don't know.
I don't think. I mean, she had a job. I always know my mom to make sure we're good, if she got somebody or not. So I don't think it was because she couldn't afford it. I just think she just didn't want to leave him.
So now you saying you want to be away. So now you're with your boyfriend. You with your boo.
Little skipping school, having little boyfriends, and I remember I got in trouble in school. So my mama sent me to my auntie house in Progress Village. Cause I guess she feel like I don't know nobody out there, so I'll be on punishment. And wasn't no punishment out there in my auntie house. My auntie ended up taking me to, like, I was talking to my kid's dad. I was like talking to him like through Facebook because I wasn't really allowed to have a boyfriend. So for like 6 months, I just talked to him on the phone, talked to him on Facebook and stuff like that. And then one day my auntie took me to see him, and me and him ended up having sex, and I got pregnant with my son.
First time?
The first time. I was just like, it's just crazy.
Your first time
ever
having
sex. And I ended up getting pregnant with my son.
And you're what, 15?
14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
14.
It's all right there. It's like all back to back. How are you dealing with it?
Girl, I got some problems. I know I got problems because, now I even
what
have to
problems do you have?
Like, I feel I have, like, very bad emotional problems. Like, I know, well, now I can tell because now I'm in a relationship. I reflect it onto my boyfriend. Like, I always say, like, I don't trust him, but I do trust him. Like, I always say, like, like, I tell him, like, I don't know why I feel like I have to make sure that I cover myself or that I'm always good. I can't depend on you to make sure we're okay, or I can't.
So you don't
make sure that you be a man, right? I don't. Okay. I noticed that being with him and talking to older people. I'm very guarded with him or with anybody. Like, I get very offensive about a lot of things. If people tell me anything about my kids or anything about me being a young parent, I get very defensive. Even if it's.
What is some backlash you had to deal with being a young parent?
A lot. Like, when I got pregnant, my mom found out because I didn't want to go to school. I kept telling her I was sick and didn't want to go to school. So she made me take a pregnancy test. And I found out I was pregnant. And for about at least a good 3 months, the only thing me and my mama said to each other was if she was cooking, she'll say, okay, the food ready. Or she wanted me to do something. Like, other than that, we didn't talk.
Mom was upset?
Yeah, she was really mad. Like, it felt like we was in the same house. She just basically cut me off.
How did that make you feel, though?
I was sad.
You were sad?
Because I was like, it's my fault, yeah, but it's just like, dang. I'm already sad because, I'm pregnant. Like, who wants to be pregnant at 14? Like, that's just crazy. You already have to hear it at school.
Right.
And then I have to come home and I know my mama mad. And
so you just did not have an escape?
No, I'm just in my room with my brother, just there.
So you and brother are sharing a room?
Yeah, we shared a room, so it was just like.
So did mom ever come around, or?
Eventually, I mean, she kind of came around, but not really. Like, it was just, okay, we started back talking a little bit. Then I ended up having my son. I wasn't talking to my son's dad when I had got pregnant because we weren't in a relationship. So when I got pregnant with my son, like I said, I wasn't even supposed to have a boyfriend. So when it was around the time when I ended up finding out, I went to contact him and I couldn't get in contact with him for some reason. And I didn't know why. So I just left it alone and, just going on about my life with my mom.
So now you're pregnant and alone. You don't even have your child's father with you.
No. And
so when did he get?
He came. Well, what happened was when I was 9 months pregnant, he wrote me on Facebook, and I was like, basically like, dang, like, where you been at? Like, I've been looking for you. You just gonna write me now? And they're gonna find out he was in prison.
What the hell?
He violated his probation and was sent to prison for like some months
to finish out his
and then he wrote me. And then I remember I didn't tell him I was pregnant. I remember he came and seen me, and I had like this big old jacket on. And he was like, "Why you
were gonna hide it?"
Yeah, he was like, "Why you got that big old jacket on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just cold." I'm just cold.
Wait, what time was it? What season season was
it? It was by summer. Cause he had to be. Cause he like, what you got? It's hot as hell out here, and you got a jacket on. I'm like, I'm just hot. Like, you know, I'm cold. It's okay. So then, like, I don't know if he probably seen something, but something made him ask me like, am I pregnant? And I was like, no.
Oh my goodness.
And he was like, okay, take your jacket off and let me see. So as soon as I took it off, I was like, don't worry about it, it's not your baby anyways. I didn't know how he was gonna react.
You were afraid of his reaction?
The first thought I just had was just, oh no, you ain't gotta worry about it. It's not even your baby. Like, it's okay. It's not you ain't gotta worry about nothing. So then he was like, are you sure? Like, he kept asking me, like, am I sure? Because he's like, the timeline just don't make no sense. So I'm like, okay, maybe it is. I don't know. Like,
you know it is.
I was like, I don't know. Because I was just like, I don't know what to expect.
You were afraid
I was.
of rejection?
I really was. Yeah, because he's 5 years older than me. So at that time, he was 19.
And you were 14?
I was 14, yep. I was
14. Did he know that?
He didn't know.
Okay.
I lied.
Okay.
When I met him, I told him I was 17.
Okay.
I did lie.
Okay.
I did lie.
Okay.
But eventually, he ended up finding out because he came to, like, after I had the baby and everything, he came to my auntie house. And my auntie was like, well, what you doing with her? She's such and such age. And he was like, what? And I'm just sitting on the couch like, I don't know what she's talking about. I was just sitting like, oh my God, this man finna kill me. And that's it. She just blew it for me.
She just blew your heart.
So after that, he started talking to me for like 2 months. He wasn't talking to me.
He didn't want to talk. Oh, man.
But then we ended up talking, and he started coming around to like see my baby and stuff.
So he was involved. I
can't say.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie. He was not involved. He wasn't coming to see the baby. He was coming to see me. So
one of those.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, he didn't really know if my son was his son, and I didn't blame him because at first I did say it wasn't his baby, and then he was like coming around. He seen my son at least like 2-3 times, but then I don't know. Okay, I do know what happened. At this time, like after I had my son, at least before I had my son, I remember my mom's lights had got cut off. So when I got out of the hospital, I had to go to my grandma's house with the baby, and she's still with the dude. And I was just like, I felt I was just so frustrated. I think I was just going through a lot of emotions. Like, my son's dad wasn't there when I had my baby. I had my baby by myself. Like
your parents weren't there either?
My mom was there, but I didn't want nobody in the room with me. So
why do you think you didn't want anyone there?
Because it was just like, I don't understand the point of nobody being there when nobody really care or support. Like, it would be just so
like
phony.
You weren't even love enough,
like
process,
right? So it's no point in nobody being here or me acting
so
like
you
this
had it
is
all
just,
by yourself, really?
Yeah. And then I remember when I had him, like somebody could stay the night with you. I had just wanted to stay by myself, and then I just stayed in the hospital by myself for the 2 or 3 days that I was in there, and then I came back to my grandma's house, and like I said, I felt I was just so frustrated, aggravated with everything that was going on. It was just like, nah, I'm just tired of this. I'm just tired of going through stuff or whatever. And I told my auntie I wanted to come stay with her. So my mom let me go stay with her. And I guess my mom got mad because I wanted to stay with my auntie. So she was just basically like, she just was done with me. She didn't want to talk to me, nothing. She didn't want to do nothing with me. So.
What about the baby? Did she have No, she didn't have a relationship with the baby?
No. Well, like, she was there, but I didn't stay there for that long for her too. So
she didn't like come out to see you guys, or
I think she came to. I don't even remember. I think she came to the hospital, like, but she didn't stay the night. She like wasn't staying the night.
I'm saying like when you moved with your aunt.
My auntie, no,
she didn't come out there at all.
We stopped talking completely.
Completely.
I guess she felt like
for how long?
I don't even know. Probably like almost a year.
Almost a year.
We weren't talking.
How did that make you feel?
I was just sad because I didn't understand. Like, I felt like my mama put my brother before me, and I just didn't understand why. Because like I was like, yeah, okay, I know I had a baby, but I wasn't like a bad child.
Right.
Like I wasn't just out
just
here.
Maybe a misunderstanding.
Right. Like I wasn't just out here in the streets having sex with this man and that man and that man.
Just
like
that one slip
this
up.
is one. I did one thing and boom, here we go.
It's crazy to me because it's like I would feel your mom could relate because she had a child so young.
But I feel like she was disappointed. Because
I
she didn't want me to have a baby. Because
she didn't want you to. Maybe she didn't want you to go through what she went through.
Right.
And she didn't know how to channel that.
I could understand, but it was still like, why do it
why shut
like
me
that?
Out? Right. Just talk to me. Let me know how you feel, but still be here. Like,
because I could go for that.
We've been through so much
together.
Already. Right. It's like, don't shut me out, Mom.
I could go for that, but
I'm sorry this happened to you.
It was just like she just didn't.
She just didn't.
And then she was like, I don't know. Then I went from staying with my auntie to my dad. I had just went to my dad's
Your biological dad.
I ended up going to his house. He had said he left. At this point, he had said he had left his wife. They wasn't divorced, but my great granddaddy ended up giving him a house, and he said he wanted me to come stay with him, me and my baby or whatever, so that me and him can like build a bond and try to fix the broken relationship and stuff like that. So at this point, I don't got nowhere else to go. So I'm just like, okay, I'll go or whatever the case may be. So I'm staying there with him for a little bit. He don't even stay there. I'm basically in the house by myself. He's not even there. He's gone. I think he was still on drugs, but he's gone doing whatever he wanted to do. So basically, just be me and my baby in the house by ourselves.
So what about school at this point? Are you still
I'm not in school no more.
You dropped out of school?
I stopped going to school.
I mean, what grade was it?
9th grade.
9th grade?
I had stopped going to school. And
why did you stop?
Well, I wanted to keep going, but I feel like I was just going through so much at home. And when I was in school, like, it was just a lot of people didn't like me in school. Like, girls didn't like me in school because of, like, a boy who I wasn't even dating. It was just, like, so much. It was, like, too much to deal with. Or people talking, like, people tell me, like, oh, you know, oh, who you pregnant by? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, it was just so much to deal with. And I was like, I don't want to go back to school.
The kids can be kind of cruel.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go back to school. Like,
so you just didn't go back. Did you ever get like your GED or anything?
I ended up going. Well, I'm in school now actually. To be a dental assistant. Okay. So the school I go to, I do my high school diploma and dental at the same time. Okay. So I could just graduate with both. Okay. All right. But so I did try to go to school. Like when I was staying with my dad, I tried to go to DW Waters. That just ain't work out. That didn't work out either. It didn't work out. Like it was so. I think just because it was like I could leave when I wanted to, I just took advantage of it. Okay, well I ain't got to be here, so I'm gonna just leave. Like I didn't stay. So staying with Dad, what is it like? He's never there. Girl, he's never there. So basically, I just get up and just go to West Tampa all the time to my auntie house. I stay going to West Tampa with my baby. Just always went over there. And then I remember one time I had went to stay the night with a friend. This boy I was talking to. So I had left my baby with my daddy. Next thing you know, I went to stay the weekend over there, actually. And then I think come Saturday or Sunday, I had got a call from somebody, some lady. And she was like, talking to me like, are you Tatiana and stuff? I was like, yes. And she was like, asked like, do you know where your son is at? And I'm like, yeah, he with my daddy or whatever. And she she just told me like, she was like, no, he's not with your daddy. He is in DCF custody. And I was like, whoa, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that was I don't think I processed stuff quickly because I was just standing there confused. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is that I left him with my daddy? So then come to find out, my daddy had left my son in the house, went to the store to buy beer. And, that's the story I've always known. Until I think like 2 years ago, my auntie told me what really happened was my daddy went to the store. He didn't really go to the store. He had left my son in the house. He was asleep, I guess. And by my daddy, I guess not wanting to be with his wife no more, or what it was. But she ended up finding out that my daddy wasn't there, and she called the police on purpose and told them that my son was in there by himself. So when they got there to knock on the door, my daddy was at the stop sign walking down the street and they could hear my baby in there crying. Wow. So and they took my baby away, and I couldn't do nothing because I was only 15. So technically, they put it as if
he's like he got guardian.
Took. Yeah, like my daddy was the guardian of both of us. So I couldn't. Like when I asked, I was like, couldn't he just come to me? And they were like, basically like, no, because I'm underage or whatever. And I was just like, wow. That just sent me through like
you're
hell.
Without your child. And yes. How old is he?
He was, well, I think at least about 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
3 months.
And your
3
child's
or 4
been ripped
months
away from you. How long did you not have custody?
I think for about, when I got him back, he was 1.
Seriously?
When I got him back, he was 1.
He's just been going through all of this without you.
Yes, and it was like so bad. Like,
did you get visits?
I did. I was able to like visit him and stuff, but it was just so bad because like when I used to go to court, like everybody else talks like in that type of situation. When you are underage, they don't care what you got to say. They don't care about nothing. Like I would try to tell them all the time, like, you know, like I'm not a bad parent. I didn't leave my baby. He left him. You know, so I don't understand why
I'm being punished.
I have to be punished for this or whatever. But they didn't care. They still took him, and I would just have to like go to court like a lot. I had to go through a lot to get him back. I had to go to counseling, and then for a long time, my son's dad, he used to like come see me, and he'll ask like, you know, where he at. I used to just be telling him like, oh, he's at my auntie house, you know, he's just not here this weekend or whatever the case may be. Like he never knew. And then I didn't stay with my daddy no more, so I was just like basically in the streets or whatever, and I had to just call him because I know he's older than me. So, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, he got his stuff together, you know, he could just probably help me or whatever. And I called him one day, and I just had to tell him. I had to just basically tell him what was going on, and ever since then he was around. He just stayed around. And
so did they give the baby to him?
No, girl. We had to just keep going through it and keep going through it. And then they wanted to DNA test him. I guess they were good. They would have gave the baby to him, but they were going to DNA test him to make sure that was his son or whatever. But my caseworker had told me not to let them do it because he was older than me.
The age gap.
And she was like, if they want to, they could try to prosecute him. So I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I was just like, you know, it's okay. I basically like just told them he's not the picture no more, but he really was. And my caseworker, I had like 3 different caseworkers, but they were all really nice. Like they tried to help me as much as they possibly could. Like they really could. And it wasn't easy because like now I'm just depressed and I'm just out here doing stuff and just like I just didn't even care about life no more. Like I just didn't care what I was doing, where I was going, nothing like that. And when you're in a situation like that, people really do use you. Like they use that to their advantage, knowing that you don't got nothing, you don't have nobody, you don't got nowhere to go. Like I came across so many people, they'd be like, oh, you know, yeah, I'll help you, or you can stay with me and I can help you get your child back and all this stuff. And I'm so gullible. Mm-hmm. I just be going for it. And then I just end up putting myself in so many bad situations that's just like, no. Like there's no way I should have went through all this at 14, 15, and 16. Like that's just too much for somebody to be going through alone.
How did you process?
Girl,
did you process it?
No, I don't think I did because like I said, now I still be crying about this type of stuff. Even if I talk to my boyfriend, like my boyfriend is probably, well, until today, the only person who I've ever told anything to about all the stuff that I've had to go through when I wasn't living with my mom or my dad. Like a lot of stuff that I had to do, or people that say like, I remember this one dude, he was older than me, and he had told me I could come stay with him, you know,
at what age
to get it together. I'm like 16. Yeah, I'm about 16 now. And he told me I could come stay with him, and he had bought me a phone and everything, and told me, like, you know, he'll basically help me get on my feet or whatever so that I can get my son back. And it didn't go like that. Like, all he want, like, every time I came to his house, if he'll give me anything, if I go to his house, he want sex in return. And it's like,
how old was
he had to be at least like 30 something. Come to find out, and it to me is like, okay, I'm just here by myself. It's like, if I don't do it, what's like, I just have to. Like, there's nothing else that I can do. I just have to do it, and I just leave and just get it over with and be done with it. And then,
so what is going through your mind?
Girl, I'm just like, I'm just sad, like, always sad. Then I just be thinking, like, you know, like, why do I just gotta keep going through this type of stuff? Like all I want to do is just really get my son back and be alone and just be by myself with my baby. Like, I was perfectly content being like that.
So at what age did you finally get him back?
I got him back before I turned 17.
Before you turned 17.
I ended up getting him back. They had I was with my child's father, and I think at that time I was just like, I think we were getting ready to go live with his grandma, because he didn't have his own place. He was staying with his grandma, and they had gave him custody, gave him back to me and stuff. So we ended up staying with his grandma for a little while, and that was okay. But then my mom was living somewhere, and we went back to my mom's house, because now, well, I'm still not 18 yet. So when we went back to my mom's house, we was staying there with her. She like had us paying her or whatever, which I didn't understand, because we was still in a 2-bedroom. Me, my baby daddy, and my baby still was sleeping in the same room with my brother.
And it was y'all paying rent.
Girl, girl, was just too much.
What was it like reconnecting with your son though, when you did get him back?
It just made me feel so much better, like. And then after that, I just felt like, that's what made me have really bad trust issues. Because after that, I didn't trust him with nobody. I didn't want him around nobody. I didn't want to go around nobody. Like, I didn't even want to talk to my family. Like, I didn't want to do nothing but be under my baby. I did like nothing. I didn't want to move. No, I didn't want to do nothing but be with him or whatever. Because I know he don't remember none of that. But it's just like, even now to this day, my boyfriend tell me that I treat him special or whatever. Like, I defend him more when it comes to like my boyfriend disciplining him or anything like that. And which I know I do, but I know it's triggered from going through that with him. Like, I never experienced that with none of my other kids. All my other kids with my boyfriend, he's there at the hospital. Like, there's nothing. So the boyfriend you with
now, or is he the father of the kids you have? How many kids you have now?
5.
You got 5 kids.
Yeah. I don't know how I got them, but yeah.
You got 5? Oh my
now we have 5 kids.
Thank God. Well, you have 5.
Yes.
Okay. That's crazy. That is.
Yeah. It's too much.
That right. That is a lot, and it's like we're still at 16. Like,
girl, it's too much. It's too much, and then I've had so much drama come my way because of my kid's dad, and it's because he was just a hoe. When I met
this
him,
is the first one.
Yeah. Well, after when he like started posting my son and like letting me know he has a baby or whatever, girl, was just hell from there.
Everybody come out the woodworks with a story. Everybody got a story now.
It was bad.
So now, fast forward, we're here now. So you have 5 kids now. You would. So how long have you two been together?
No, the man I have kids with now is my son's dad.
Oh, so you two never. So this never.
When I got my son, I think that situation with him finding out I lost custody of my son and all that stuff, he stayed. Because he was just in and out before. Like, he'd come see me. He wouldn't really come to see my son. He was coming to see me. He wasn't really coming to see my son. But him being there, yeah, he'll see him and play with him. But when he had found out what I was really going through, and I was just like, I have to tell him. And when I told him, he was just like, he just stayed. Mm-hmm. We never stopped talking after that. We just got together and we stayed together. And now we got 5 kids together.
Now y'all got 5 kids. Well, luckily at least y'all still got each other, you know, and like he's been through your journey with you, and you know, you don't have to try to go off and be with somebody else. You're with the person that, you know, so you don't trust him. And he's your child's dad. So,
and I feel bad, but I can honestly say I'm trying to work on it. Like, I've even suggested to him that we can go to counseling together, because it's not his fault.
Do you feel like counseling will help though? Because you said before it didn't. Do you feel like you're ready to?
I think, yeah. I think it would help. I think, well, my boyfriend told me my biggest thing is I have to face my problems with my mama. And I gotta face my problems with my daddy, because that trauma, like, everything I went through with my mama, I've never talked to her about it. She's never brought it up to me. I never brought it up to her. It's just like,
it happened
and it's gone. But that triggered a lot of stuff in my life. Like, I've always wanted to talk to her about it, but I just don't feel like it's gonna go good. Are you gonna show her
this video?
Girl, I don't know. My boyfriend said I should. He said I should just do this and just let her watch it so that she can see, like, the things that we went through
and how it affected you.
Right, but I don't know.
What about your dad? How you think he'll receive it?
I think he'll receive it good, because now he's on a better path. Like, you know, he not on drugs, nothing like that. And I'm not saying I don't feel like my mom will receive it good, but I just think she'll be defensive, or she won't try to.
She won't watch it to understand and
it's just I feel like she just feel like I'm targeting her, coming
You're attacking her,
and that's not what it is. It's just because now that I'm older, I feel like a lot of things that me and her went through, it was from her past. Like, she didn't have a mama,
right?
So you're not having a mom, and then you got to be my mom. You're not saying she was a bad mom. It's just you made a lot of mistakes, but.
Because you didn't know. You didn't know how to fix what you were already going through.
You already
now here you
trauma.
Are. Right. And it's trauma on trauma on trauma.
Right. So
if there's something that you could tell your mom, what would you tell your mom?
No, I would tell her that, like, right now it's like, Mom, I would tell, like, I wish that we didn't go through as much stuff as we went through. I wish, like, you know, she didn't stop. I wish she didn't, like, kind of, like, cut me off when I got pregnant and when I was going through all that stuff, because at that time, that's when you really need your mom, or you just need somebody. When you don't have anybody, you just need somebody.
And all you had was your mom.
Right. At first, that's all I had. It's all I've ever known for basically all my life. So for me to lose that, it's just like, I really don't got nothing. Like, nothing at all. You
want to tell her how it made you feel?
Girl, really depressed. Like, very much depressed. Very much
I noticed you laugh a lot when you're expressing.
Because, I have a tendency to do that when I'm, like, I don't know why I do that. I do laugh in very situations that's not good. Crying? I think so, because, and I noticed I started doing that when my auntie passed away. When my auntie passed away,
the one
that
like, you were living with?
No, she was my great auntie. Okay. Like, she was like the mold of our family. Like, everybody know we can go to her house and everything is good and peaceful or whatever. And when she passed away, I literally remember my daddy, I think either my dad or my stepmom told me, because she passed away when I was living with them and mom was still in jail. And when she passed away, he told me, and I just started laughing. And I just laughed and was like, I just walked off. And then I didn't even cry until like 2 weeks later. I was just sitting down in my room and I just started busting out crying. So I think I do like laugh. I don't know why. I do that a lot. I laugh through a lot of stuff.
So going forward, how do you feel like you want to change what's been going on? You want to talk to Mom?
I know you probably should talk to my mom. Probably let her watch this and just change my attitude.
You want to change your attitude?
Yeah, I want to make sure. What do you want to change
about it? What do you feel has happened with your attitude? Like, with everything you've been through, how do you feel like it has shaped you?
Like, I have a very bad attitude. Like, I have a very short temper. Like, anything can send me on 10. Like, and that's not good. Especially with me having kids now. Like, I get really defensive. I don't like to, well, I'm learning to now, but, you know, people give you advice And a lot of times it's good advice. People that have knowledge or been through something, and they just want to let you know so that you don't go through it. But I feel like for me, having a baby young and being attacked so much from that, I always feel like somebody's attacking me and like coming at me. Because I feel like I've gone through that so much. People coming after me, like just saying stuff about me.
So you're just triggered to be in defense.
Get to be in defense with everything. Like, went from as a childhood when dating my boyfriend, people attacking me for that. It was just like so much. If you could
tell people that do those type of things, what would you tell them? If you could tell them something,
it's not good. Like,
it's not good.
You really should, because you don't know what you could cause for somebody else. Like, I don't think people should just judge off of what somebody else said. Like, if you honestly don't know me as a person, like, if anybody that knows me as a person know I'm very sweet, I'm very kind-hearted. I would do anything for anybody. Even if it's my last, I will give it to somebody. Like, I'm very nice to anybody I meet. But I feel like people just, they don't know me, so they just see, oh, well, she dating him and she gotta know this is going on, and then they just put a thing on me that's just not me. And that's one thing I don't like. And I see that affecting me too. Like, when having a baby young. When I had a baby young, it's like people just looked at me like as if I was a hoe. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not like that.
One time.
Right. It's like, I'm not like that. I wasn't anybody. Like, I was never bad in school. I was always in honor classes. Like, I was a really good kid. And I
dealt a bad hand.
Just got dealt a bad hand, but people don't see it like that. They see the mistakes you made or whatever you've done, and that's what they run with.
If you could tell child mothers out there, like teenage mothers, something, what would you say?
I just feel like you just basically gotta live for yourself, and you can't worry about what nobody else say, because if you do, you're gonna be like how I am now, still to that 24, trying to prove myself to people, when I don't really gotta prove myself to nobody, because all I have to do is prove to my kids. But I still do that now. I try to prove to my mom that, I'm not just a statistic, like just dropped out of school and don't want to do nothing with myself or nothing like that. Like, I strive every day to do more and more and more. If it's going to school, if it's a new thing I learned how to do, just anything, I'm always trying to elevate myself. Okay. And always trying to I feel like do that so that my kids can know. Like, I don't want to take them through nothing. I don't want to take my kids through anything traumatic. I don't want them to know how that feel. Mm-hmm. Because it's not a good feeling growing up as a child. Because then you go into an adult, you don't fix it, it's just going to get worse.
It's going to get worse. Yeah.
It really does. Like, I know I should go to counseling, because it's times where I yell at my kids for something, or I whoop them and I cry. Because I feel so bad.
You feel bad for...
I feel so bad, but I have to discipline them.
Right.
Like, I have to be a parent. But at the same time, I get really emotional because I don't ever want them to feel like, oh, why is she doing this to me? Or she probably like this child more than she like me. Or I don't ever want them to feel like that, because I know how that feels. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I just be trying, like I say, every day to just work on it and just be the best parent, mother that I could be. I think young girls, and because it's a lot of females on my Instagram who are like young parents who always ask me or write me and be like, well, how do you do it? Or, how do you go to school and do this and do that? And like, I just be telling them, like, you just gotta believe in yourself. Like, everybody gonna talk about you when you a young parent. Mm-hmm. Like, they just gonna look at you like you just set to fail. Mm-hmm. And you don't gotta do that. You gotta do that. Like, right. You do not have to do that. And you can be a young parent. You can stop going to school. You can stop whatever you were doing, but you can always pick it back up.
Always pick it back. It doesn't. The road is not over.
Right.
Basically.
It doesn't stop.
Even if you stop, you can always go back. You don't have to. You don't have
live
to
in it.
Right.
Right. You really don't, because now where I'm at now, I would. Now to where I was at when I first had my son, or when he got taken away, and all that I went through, I would never imagine me having my own place, my own apartment, like my own car. I wouldn't imagine me being a whole family with my kids, dad, like work. I just wouldn't picture myself being back in school or doing none of this,
picking it up.
I just never felt that I was ever going to be able to get that chance to do that.
And now you have it. So you want to let them know, don't give up.
You just better not give up.
Don't give up.
No matter what nobody say, you should never give up. You shouldn't live in what you've been through. Okay. You have to grow out of your past.
Anything anything that you got going on right now in particular that you want to shout out, or anything that you promote?
I don't know. Well, like I said, I'm in school, but I do trying to start like a cake business, because I do like to decorate cakes.
Like decorate cakes, okay,
and stuff like that. So I do that on my Instagram, and people see like I did start, then I stopped when I started going to school. So now I'm picking it back up because I was doing really good, and that's where I see myself like owning a business. Like I want doing my cakes school money to get me there. Okay. Like what I'm going to school for, I want that to get me there.
Okay. Where can people find you with your cakes? And
my Instagram is Caramel Wins.
And I'll tag you.
Yeah, that's where it's at. I didn't make a business page yet, but I'm going to slowly but surely when I get some time.
You start somewhere, as long as you start.
I get some time. Yes.
Okay. All right. So Tatiana, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And I just hope it all gets better for you. And I hope Mom, if you're listening, if you're watching, please understand she's not here to attack you. She just wants some answers, some closure. Exactly. And I'm hoping you're open to receiving and, getting an understanding with your daughter, so that way we can start that healing and that trauma won't continue on. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And anybody else out there, talk. Talk to your kids.
Yeah,
talk.
You got to. You gotta talk. You gotta get it out. Because if not, I'm just gonna put on my kids what my mama put on me.
Right.
And that I don't
And that's
want.
the whole point of this show. Let's talk. Let's not sweep it under the rug. Mm-hmm. It happened. Let's discuss. How did that make you feel? Mom, how were you? What were you thinking? Like paint the picture for me. Help me understand you.
Yes.
So that way I know what you were going through. So way
I can understand.
So I can understand better why we went through and why it played out the way it did. That's all. But thank you again.
You're welcome.
And I hope it gets better for you. You're welcome.